Well, the school board meeting order of January 7th. Dave, you take a roll call, please.
Ron?
Here.
Dick?
Here.
John?
Here.
Norv is absent. Dave here. Joe?
Here.
Jim?
Aye. Present.
Proof of notes.
As stated in the agenda.
Approval of the agenda. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Joe. Seconded by Dick?
No.
Ron?
Ron.
Ron. Any questions on the agenda? Joe?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-0-1. Citizens' comments?
I got a call yesterday at about 6:40 in the evening. Somebody was driving around looking at the new school and said the door was open in the back. And he said, should I close it? And I said, well, why don't you look at the door, see if it's propped open. So he went and looked and the door was propped open. And my feeling was if the door was propped open, whoever was outside should have a key. And if there's somebody inside, they should be able to get out. So I said, take the prop off and let the door close, because it shouldn't be open. And so he was a little bit concerned.
Who would be propping open a door? A construction worker?
I'm guessing it was a coach and a team in town, and I met this morning not on that specific situation, but we started now that we're rekeying things that we met on that as well in terms of what the expectations are. And I think what the issue, not to address it right away, Ron, is that the trip keys or the Allen wrenches are the ones that can key those from the inside and keep the door closed but still open for kids to come through, and we don't have those. I'm gonna guess that was the issue on the corner door.
So you can, which door was he referring to, by the way, he or she?
I think
Do you
it
know?
was the one that's that back parking
It's
lot.
the far northeast
Yeah.
team door.
Which is programmable.
That, I don't know.
We just added a fob to
Oh,
it.
we did, okay, yeah.
So one of the things is we're talking about the high school being accessible, actually. So school security, school safety, all that stuff. Yeah, like, from what I understand, it's not about building being locked down 24/7. It is about being locked down during the school day, protecting the kids while during the school day. And like after school, we really want our building to feel like more of a community resource. You can't have every building wide open on the school, but really, if we have an event going on in the high school, the whole place should be in lockdown mode at that point in time, because we want parents to be able to come in, pick up their kids come in for practice, and that door technically is the closest thing we have to the parking lot. One of the things that Lee and I discussed was, we really want that back area to be, that's the student zone. The future is that's the student zone. The front is for parents to pick up and drop off in the safe, secure entrance during the school day. But really the rest of it, we don't have a sidewalk up there. So if a student parks in their car, comes up to the front of the school, they actually have to walk in our driveway in order to get there. Versus, before school, they should park in the parking lot and come back in through the new entrance. So our new day is coming up soon. So by the end of this month, we should be ready to roll with the new entrance. The flooring's coming in, and the mural will be done by the end of this month. So that's our new reset. So we appreciate hearing about it, and we need to know if doors are being left open. Absolutely.
Is that one gonna have a buzzer on it?
That will not. That one is for
And it's not gonna
athletics.
have an Allen wrench thing there?
No, it does.
That door does?
Yeah.
Good. That's the only
So for
door.
the panic hardware,
Yeah, we're
push it in and
but
lock
that
it,
can- yeah,
so the door can be open, okay.
That's been that has been probably one of the biggest topics, is what, that door down below.
Yep.
What is the purpose of that one door? The rest, very clear, this is the hanging item that we kind of updated the hardware on because of it. The original, when it was done, the first round, it was just, you couldn't open the door from outside. There was no handle on it. So then if that's the case, right now they can't use the lobby. So you can't use there, so then they are trying to figure out what to do, so they're in this la la land. But you can't use the lobby yet because it's under construction. So we'll get there. In the meantime, we have, that is a door that I believe can be programmable, and it does have a fob on it now too, which they could use a key to get in, versus before it was like low tech, no hardware, no anything. So,
I'm also, I wasn't impressed with the benches in the back. It's been bugging me ever since I saw them. So I'd like to take a walk through the building and look at things. I'd like to spend some time and just walk through, and the woodwork they did for the benches,
Yeah.
for the kids to wait, I'm not impressed.
mhm.
For what we're paying, that could be 5/4 maple, it could be something in a laminated where it doesn't move, that's
Sure, I'm open to that.
And I'd like to look at it again.
We didn't like it at all.
I didn't like it at all, it's been changed since then, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so.
The rest of the benches, I think, are appropriate. They're solid, they look solid. That's that one surface where we two said, no.
It's 3/4, it looks like they, when they plugged it, it looks like they sanded and stained it, it's blotchy, the wood is not, it's not,
It had a water mark in it, some of that wood, you know what I'm saying? No, I agree, right,
yeah,
and somebody else said that's the way their cabinets in the house look.
yeah, well, good for them.
We'll schedule a time and let's go.
Well, when is the official walkthrough? Or is it every week?
Well, it's every Tuesday. So, I mean, we'll do something later on though.
But I don't wanna
Anybody.
wait
Well, there's supposed to be a final.
We have not signed up on that levy, that's far from it.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is you wait too long and then, I mean, it's already done. I guess it should have been
It was
already
done
caught.
once, we made them redo it.
Okay.
And now if it's not good enough, we'll make them redo it again.
Yeah.
Like literally, that was a Bray architect design that we never really saw. I mean, you look at the renderings and the pictures,
Mhm,
it's great.
mhm.
And then it ends up being this very thin wood.
Yeah, so 3/4,
Yeah.
3/4,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
And
get
before
that.
they didn't even, the edges were sharp. They beveled them a little bit.
You wonder if they had a subcontractor that they contracted to that came in and did that, and
That was that was the actual design was to be that rough. Like I saw the plans, and
And-
my eyes opened up.
It had a space in it originally.
But now, if you go in there, there's a ton of stuff that we have noticed and had them fix and went, yep, thumbs up. That's one of those, I'm not surprised to hear you say that actually. To me,
It was,
they made a
the
lot of
first time we
progress.
seen it,
but-
it was not impressive.
So yeah, so reach out to me, you and I will go on a walk, or happy to do that. And Lee, no worries. We want people's feedback, we want to get it done right the first time. We haven't actually, is there anything we've signed off on 100%? On the
No,
punch list?
there has
I
been. a
don't think
punch
so.
list.
So we've gotta go back in, check off everything. Travis is the guy helping with the punch list. I don't think we've officially said, yes to the dress 100% on anything. I think we're still,
I mean, even the opener on the garage door. If they
That's getting fixed.
miscalculated that and they put that in and it wasn't gonna work for what we needed, they need to absorb that cost, I mean, why should we absorb
They
it?
need to fix it,
yeah, that's still coming.
Okay.
but I'll address the door.
Yeah, for sure. So, doors being left open on schools, not okay, not uncommon, just so you know, but it's not uncommon at all. So as we work on these increased school security, we're still breaking down old school ways. So ask everybody here, yep, left open, okay, thanks, we need to work on that. Then you get a change in coach, you get a reboot and trying to implement the policies and so.
Thanks, Ron. Okay, you have resolution 1819-134, approval of the previous board meeting minutes. Motion by Dave. Second by Joe. Any questions on the minutes? Dave?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried 6-0-1. Trinity. All recovered from your party?
Yes, of course. Okay, so this month, or I guess last month now, we're into 2019. We had our chapter meeting on December 14th. Our activity was building gingerbread houses, which I believe you judged.
No, I didn't get
Oh, maybe, I hope he still has them. I hope. We have pictures, anyway. You can always judge by picture. On December 18th, we went to do Adopt a Family, which is something we do every year. We had a budget of $500. And we went shopping over in Beaver Dam for that. And then on December 19th, we followed up with the wrapping of those presents. Throughout all of December, we have been practicing with our LDEs, which are our leadership development events. We have multiple people competing, but our main ones are creed speaking, which is freshmen, where they learn, they practice the FFA creed, and then present it to a panel of 3 for judging. And then our Probably Pro team, which is properly running the meeting and going by Robert's Rule of Order. And then in January, we had our officer meeting this morning, and then Probably Pro practice after school. Our upcoming events this weekend, the 11th and 12th, we have our halftime conference, which our highest senior and our highest junior attend. So myself and Brandon Franke will be attending that. And then next Monday, we have our chapter meeting. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yep.
And do you feel like as a FFA group that you feel moved in now?
Yeah, there's one cart that's just kind of sitting there, 'cause it's stuff that's got to get moved up onto the walls, so we just kind of want to wait for our whiteboards and everything to be in before we start hanging anything.
Yeah. Any updates on the whiteboard order?
They came in today, they're just not up.
Sweet, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Reno's got a long way to go yet.
You don't have a full, like, round of plants now already planted and growing in that space yet? Come on.
I think our shipment is coming in February sometime.
Good.
Yeah,
To get everything set up before that.
yeah.
You'll be good.
Figure out the water
And our leaky
system.
faucet would be really
Oh,
great
yeah?
if it was fixed.
Good to know.
Yeah. I don't know why, but it like, you turn it on and it just goes all over the countertop.
Oops.
Just gonna plant that
Mhm.
bug in your ear.
For sure.
Oh, sure.
Awesome.
Sure.
That's all I have for you
All right,
guys.
thanks.
Thank you.
Student council.
Hi, I'm Carolyn. You know me, come here every Monday. December, that's what month we were in. We've just been planning for Winterfest. You know, it's gonna sneak up on us only like 2 weeks away from now. We're trying to create a new system where the students are running more things, setting up the games and stuff, making it more reliant on the student body and the people involved in the student council rather than the advisor and the president and all those people trying to like do everything, just to kind of spread it out and make everything easier for everyone. And that's pretty much all we've been doing. We got a DJ, we're making tickets, putting up posters for the dress-up days. We had dress-up days in December for our winter break, and those all went down really well. Had a lot of fun, and that's been really great. Anything you guys want to ask?
You have a lot more space for the next dance,
Mm-hmm.
which would be nice.
Mhm.
Bathrooms that are readily accessible. Oh my goodness.
Water.
And water. Whoa. That's crazy expectations. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. Awesome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Dave, any communications?
We have 2, Scott sent out 2 thank you letters to one to Athletic Booster Club and one to the Mayville Kickoff Club for the generous donations. And we thank you for taking care of that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's about a 10-week lead time, I think, on this.
Yeah.
That's what was the push to order.
I've got a question or a request. Watertown Construction Group bought the greenhouse, the old one, okay? And they were here, what was it, last Friday of school, whatever day that was. And very impressed. I worked with them all day, very impressed. And there was little bolts, so to take that thing apart was unreal. There was 21 people. They worked a good 5 hours because they had to leave at 2 o'clock. We could have had it completely down if we would have had a couple more hours. But they really did a good job. They were fun to work with. They listened. They really good working group. And they've only been together for 3 weeks, so that some of these guys didn't know which way a nut went on or off, but they learned by the end of the day. If we could send them a thank you letter, and I do not
Sure.
know the name of the individual.
We got it. So
Okay.
it's the BC group, it's the, like the trades class.
Trades class
For
construction.
Watertown High School.
Right, and he
Okay.
is part-time ag teacher. I looked up the ag
Oh.
teacher, they got a girl, a lady, and I couldn't find him, well, you know, when there's 100 teachers, you don't, I didn't know, I didn't know his
Okay,
name.
I just wrote down some of the things you mentioned, just to, I'll use that in the thing.
But,
Well, it was a win-win-win is what
Yeah.
came out of that.
if we would've had to take that down ourselves, it wouldn't have got down in time, put it that way. Because we had
Jeff
trouble.
would have just,
Well, right, I had the back over that.
Thanks, Dick. Okay, we have resolution 1819135, approval of regular semi-monthly bills.
so,
Motion by Joe,
One second.
second by Jim. Questions on the bills?
The only question, it's not a question, it's just refresher of my memory. The dental, the charges on there for Delta Dental, we're self-funded on that,
Correct.
right? They're
Yep.
just,
we pay as we go.
yeah, Delta Dental is just the administrator, and we
Yep.
actually
Yep.
pay.
Correct.
That's what I thought, I just.
So we're actually looking at a model where we're not, to get some stability, because if we're upside down being self-funded, it might be better just to buy a plan and be done. So,
They usually max it anyhow. Or not.
well, unfortunately, fortunately, people are using the benefit and taking care of their teeth. Unfortunately, people are using the benefit, you know,
Yeah.
so can't win.
Any other questions? Hearing none, Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 601. Any reports, any?
Yeah, it's get busy coming up here again.
Administrative report.
So I have two handouts that I gave to you. So kind of doing some storytelling beforehand. So at a board level, you've discussed what you passed a resolution pro growth as in regards to the newly formed village of Williamstown. So you went on record last spring saying we are pro growth, anything that we can do to support growth in this area, we're all for. So then it all came to life recently. I've heard it's might be back in the court system again.
The ninth,
Okay.
I think.
Yes.
So it's a lot of TBD that's out there, still is what it sounds like. But one of the things that we did do was you reached out to legal counsel, you got some feedback, and we learned that a lot of the legal counsel it's coming to local, and you needed some insight from outside. So looking for insight from outside, I contacted WSB. They looked at the resources, like, not really our thing, but we're gonna tell you this. Have you reached out to, if you're about pro-growth, have you reached out to the Applied Populations Lab? I said, well, I've heard of them, but I've not personally been in contact with them. So I reached out to them, and the first proposal that they have is, the Applied Populations Lab is UW, so it's coming out of UW system. And they've been around for many years, and they actually just did a 48-page presentation. I did like a quick review, just skimming through it with the administrative team today. I'm gonna share it, I shared it with them, I'll give it to you as well as a board. I think you'll be very interested in it. And it does a great job of saying, this is what's happening in the state of Wisconsin in rural communities. It's us, all that stuff relates to us. So, the Applied Populations Lab, they have a recommendation to us to do a study of our district enrollment and give us projections out into 2028-29 school year. So it's 10 years worth of projections. Right now, we use the Baird model, and we've already had that inaccurate, is the thing. So I think it'd be a great idea to dig down into our historical enrollment data, birth data from the state of Wisconsin, and this population estimate from the state of Wisconsin Department of Administration versus this formula that's in Baird. So Baird can do a lot of great things, but it's using this like survival rate is what it's using and it's already been enacted. So, to me, this is a great investment, and it's something that we can, we'll complete this, put it up on our website, we'll use it as a guiding resource for us. Well, obviously, we'll adjust it, you know, as things go, but it uses 4 different grade progression ratio models to predict this for us. So it takes into account future birth trends, in and out migration, and school transfers that there are likely. So I'm a fan of it. I think we should definitely do it. It's about getting data. It's a one-time cost. It's not a recurring cost. So I think it would be a resource that we could use for many, many years. So I recommend that we do and this is within my budget costs. So we're going to do the district-wide enrollment projection piece. The other part, though, as far as past housing trends and future housing development analysis, I mean, if we talk to everybody in the room, you know how much housing has been going on in the Mayville area, new subdivisions and stuff. And if you look at the past few years, it's been very slow. So I think the best way to look at the housing developments in that world is in the other recommendation that I have. And the other recommendation is coming from this MD Roffers Consulting. So there's a lot of pages there, and I apologize for not getting that to you in advance. So I kind of did my own summary of this so I can cut to the chase on this. So MD Roffers is a consulting firm. They provide a broad range of professional, rural, and intergovernmental planning and plan implementation services. So they recently conducted a comprehensive community study in district-wide enrollment for Lake Mills School District. You can, it's right up there on their website. I can share that with you as well. We're not really looking for that. I'm not looking for that from them because we can do, working with APL, we can do a district enrollment projection that's based upon the information I shared. So, but they have worked over the last 4 years with 16 different Wisconsin school districts to support their planning efforts. A lot of that was to go to referendum, just so you know. So they're looking at growth and changes, and that's where some of their bread and butter is. But they also work, like Mark Roffers, the owner of the company, he was the project manager for the city of Horicon's comprehensive planning project. So I've heard that term used with the city of Mayville, like what's a comprehensive plan? So he led the city of Horicon's comprehensive plan, and when I spoke to him, really feels he's very familiar with the Dodge County pyramid. So he recommended that we still continue to work with APL, the Applied Populations Lab, for that study, but then he wanted us to offer his services to dig deeper into the potential impact of the village of Williamstown on that new formation on the district's growth. So his whole angle is coming and doing a study of what is the impact of this on the growth of the school district. And I thought, hey, that sounds pretty exciting, because that's exactly what we've been talking about. So to get that baseline understanding of growth in the district, with or without, so what is the impact if you throw into the variable the village of Williamstown? So one, he proposed to come and review the housing and economic development data and trends within the district and our region, and the factors that drive it, including demographic changes, utilities that are available, and transportation. So second, he recommends to put together a list of all the homes that were built in our school district, in the city, and the expanded village over the last 5 years, and that he would survey the owners of those new properties in order to get a profile of the typical recent home building household in the district, and to help us understand the relationship between new housing and student enrollment. So new housing does not mean new kids, is the reality of it. Just because you get new homes, it doesn't mean you get a couple with 4 children to move into that. So I thought that was really interesting. So looking at the relationship between new housing and student enrollment, and what drives new households to locate to the district. I thought that's great. So then, in addition to the survey and following up with the new homeowners, he recommends up to about 6 hours of phone and in-person interviews to collect data, and that was with people from the district, people from the city, people from the village, and just to start getting more of a narrative to go along with all of that. So as a neutral person. And then with that, his goal would be to help share with us trends in housing and economic development as it relates to our student population, and then again, to help share what the perception, or this is what the data says, the impact of the village merger would be on housing development, and would it stifle our growth, or